All right, thank you for staying with us. As the world continues to grapple with the effects of climate change like global warming, flooding, pollution, deforestation, amongst others, unfavorable human activities, which are the causes, keep increasing. While there have been different discussions on how to solve the environmental issues in Nigeria, including the Green Agenda, which aims to achieve full ecological sustainability, there is still an increasing level of flooding, deforestation, amongst others.
For decades, we neglected the environment. Our social and economic activities dealt a blow on Mother Earth. And when she reacted, many people paid the price.
Look at me now, I have a lot of sickness.
Lives were lost, property destroyed. But how long will this continue? It is possible to redress the issues and secure Nigeria for the present and future generations. We can create a safe and healthy environment with a sound and prosperous economy. With visionary leadership, we can guarantee air quality. We can supply safe and clean drinking water. We can deploy technology to waste management and recycling for the better good. We can protect and jealously guard our wildlife and water bodies. We can design a sustainable agenda to mitigating and adapting to climate change. We can create smart cities that make consideration for the environment. We can make Nigerians smile again and return her citizens to being the happiest people on earth. The time to act is now. Powered by the Green Agenda.
Well, joining us in our studio is an environmentalist and the MD CEO at Mark Press West Africa Limited, Idowu Salau, Chief Odofion of Akpado Land in Ilorin. Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chief. It's good to see you.
Odofion is beating you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's an amazing one.
Now,
Good morning.
give us an insight into this green agenda, a better understanding of it.
You see, the Green Agenda is a collective strategy that we have put together to support the Asiwaju presidential aspiration. Reason is that I belong to a group, the Project Beyond 2023. And that group, there was a time we were having a meeting and I said, we should go beyond making noise, even though politics is about noise making. There should be issue-based campaign that when Asiwaju finally form his government, he will be able to hit the ground running. And we find out again, it's not only Asiwaju that made the mistake. Almost all the presidential candidates made that mistake. They played down on the issue of the environment and green agenda in their manifesto. And they forget one thing, that the economic impact of climate change is more devastating than the normal economic GDP that we're talking about.
True.
And if you look at what happened in 2022, in terms of flooding, flooding is just one aspect of climate change.
Yes.
During flooding, even bandits cannot come out to carry out their activities. Farmers cannot go to farm. School children cannot go to school. Transporter cannot move goods and services. Even economics cannot do the demand and supply theory of economy. They can't practice it. Even government cannot govern. That is one area we should look into. And Nigeria is not in isolation. We cannot be in an isolation. Global problem that is affecting everything now more than what we are discussing in the electionary campaign, which is we talk of economy, we talk of infrastructure development, we talk of just look at what happened in Syria and Turkey. 45 seconds of natural disaster. What? Do you know how many lives lost?
Over 35,000.
The amount they are going to use to reconstruct this area now. So why are they playing lip service to issue of environmental degradation? And almost all the region in Nigeria, is facing this serious challenge of climate change. And we're talking about insecurity. The main problem, what major source of our insecurity in the Northeast that gave rise to Boko Haram is because of the drying of Lake Chad. The drying of Lake Chad, the Lake Chad is about 26,000 square kilometer. It has shrunk to 10% of its original
Size.
Size. 1,600 and something kilometers now left. The people who stay on the brink of Lake Chad, that are farmers using the water to do, and that's when Asiwaju came up with the idea that I'm going to recharge Lake Chad. The question I ask, how will he do it? Yes, it's a good idea. He recognized that the present government said they will recharge, and he said he will continue. Now, we should echo it. How do you want to do it? Then what is the economic impact of recharging Lake Chad? So he's the only one, I think, among them. I know of a presidential aspirant who just visited flood-prone area, and I said, and now I know issue of climate change. I'm going to maybe do something to it. It's more than that. If we know the economic impact of climate change on Nigerian economic itself, then all of them will brace up and start putting climate change, environmental degradation in the forefront of their manifesto. If, as of 2020, a UK government analysis said, study said Nigeria is losing 100 billion naira yearly to impact of climate change. Meanwhile, China is gaining more year on year on green loan given to their citizens. They're having more profit on green loan, even more than housing loan. They are making more. And how do they do it? They are funding more into renewable energy projects that are green economy projects. This is the issue-based campaign we are asking them. And that is what necessitated us to produce this for Asiwaju. Because I know, the Asiwaju that I know, it's not my first time of producing memo or document for him. And one of my documents that I did for Asiwaju in 2001 was what led to him to realize that federal government, they are no longer interested in giving him the right funding to tackle garbage. We wrote a memo. I told him, I said, sir, we need ecological funding intervention for us to be able to tackle, to change charity, that's Oshodi transfer station, to material recovery. And he said, well, Yomi Edu is there. Because people don't know Asiwaju. If you're able to confront him with superior argument, he will bow down for you. And he said, how do we do it? I said, we can get the money from ecological fund. He said, okay, anyway, you are a consultant. Go there. But we never knew that there is a Cold War already brewing between the state based on this local government. So when the reply came from Mr. President, he said, my dear governor, because Asiwaju showed it to me, and said, you see, we have to now move on how to do garbage by ourselves. Yes, it's true. The president said, well, for equity and fairness, Lagos State has benefited immensely, more than other states. So he now listed the project. 3 billion for phase 1 of garbage reclamation, another 6 billion phase 2 of garbage reclamation. And what did we get there? It's like we are pumping money into the ocean. No result. And that's why they decided, well, they started paying politics. Don't worry. We will get the money somewhere else. And that's what led to Atlantic City.
Eco-Atlantic City.
Eco-Atlantic City. And he went out. He laid the foundation. At least I know that because I was privy to that document that was flying between the two, between federal government and state government. So now, giving this agenda to him, it might be small, but it's a 60-page policy strategy document
on the environment.
On the environment, which climate change is part of it. And we identify various ecological challenges that is being faced in each geopolitical zone and state region. And let me give you an example. I've given you that of Lake Chad. there's a new one going on now that they are not paying attention to. Gold mine in Zamfara.
Yeah.
And gold mine in Osun. The devastating effect of illegal mining sites, if care is not taken, the economic impact of that ecological challenges will be more than the gain we are having now. Because we are laughing, oh, gain is we are mining gold, people are coming in, economy is booming. But when they leave that site, the restoration and reclamation of the illegal mining site they are going to leave, and that is exactly what is causing most of this insurgency in Zamfara. Everybody want to claim where they are doing their mining. Now, is the economic gain the state government are looking at? Nobody is looking at the implication of the illegal mining that they are doing. That's one. Here in Southwest, very near us here, Olusosun.
The dump site.
The dump site. That is where we should be looking at green economic development that can bring about the finance that can make Nigeria to access the African Development Bank climate change finance and World Bank climate change financing. Rwanda already got it, $419 million to improve on their solar and wind for energy. And we're having an energy problem. And we are leaving Olusosun there like that. Solution to that is here. The entire Ikorodu Road, maybe 1 megawatt is enough to power the street light. Why would the state government be powering street light in this age? Be powering street light with fossil fuel, with diesel generator. When we can convert Olusosun to energy hub, there are 2 renewable energy sources that we can do in Olusosun, 41.2 hectares of land there. We can get energy from solar and we can get from landfill gas. And what do we, if we want to put in the financial request from World Bank and African Development Bank, that project qualify under net zero and decarbonization. And we have a government sitting down. The natural resources that can fetch their money. Those are the green economy and blue economy we are talking about that they should embark on. It is not late.
All right.
Thank God we are in an electionary campaign. They can still do something on it.
All right. One thing a lot of people talk about is the disconnect between people and the environment.
Yes.
And it is people's activity that threaten the environment.
Yes.
So people don't understand that my wanting to build a house or my wanting to site an industry or dispose this or dispose that have adverse effect on the environment. So there's a very serious disconnect. So if we talk about reconnecting, which brings us to the issue of awareness and the knowledge of it, how do we start to achieve that?
This is the first, the right way to do it, the sensitization we are doing now. And one thing we need, if we are able to sensitize our leaders and they are able to embark on green economy projects, we are already 50%. Others will follow. If we let people know the economic impact of building on a floodplain. Now, weather forecast is out now for 2023.
Yes.
Almost about 30 states
Yes.
will be prone to
Flooding.
The last one that happened, what have we done? What have we done? Despite all the noise we made. So it's high time we let these people who want to lead us to know. Well, the one thing I know about Asiwaju, I'll keep saying it. If I've not had interaction with, he's the only one I've had interaction with. And I'm sorry, I don't have any reservation for saying that. That's how he met me. He doesn't know me from nowhere. My paper got to him. And he looked at it and said, who wrote this? Can you call him? And I was in England. And I came in. He met me in his living room. I was looking, who is this? I said, this is the person that, oh. That's how we transform the issue of waste management. Asiwaju was the one that introduced private sector participation in waste collection in Nigeria. He was the first one that echoed it. He was the one that invested heavily into it. That's what we are getting today. Do you know how many employment opportunities that he has done from that? So if you have a visionary leader, how to operate this kind of agenda will not be a problem. So, and that is why my group, the Project Beyond 2023 support group of Asiwaju, is presenting this to him because we know he's going to be a driver. He's going to drive it.
So this is like the Bible of the
Yes, it's the Bible
or the Quran.
and it contained climate change, adaptation, and mitigation. And see, you know, when we say Asiwaju is a visionary leader, people don't want to believe it. Look at what the whole world is doing now. The light rail that is started with the present governor. If we remove the amount of people, the blue line will be moving from Okokomaiko to Marina. The amount of vehicle that will be parked at home that will not run our street. The net zero effect that we're going to have. Look at that. That is Asiwaju for you. Look at the time he proposed the project. And the Eco-Atlantic one, that's a city resilience project. Now they are now making money from environmental degradation now to environmental gain. That is, we are now gaining from it to the extent that American Embassy is building one of their most expensive office at the consulate in the
biggest consulate in the
world. And you know how much that is attracting? That is the kind of leader we want to promote what is going to be trending. And the way the economic impact of climate change is affecting us, it's affecting all strata of our livelihood, be it agriculture, health, security, transportation, even economy. So if you say you want to do development, and you forget to know that if you don't put the right environmental impact assessment of that project in place, when the time comes, who do you blame? That disruption, that quick money you want to make or quick economic GDP you want to increase, the problem will start again, back to square one.
So how should they hit the ground running, whoever wins at the end of the day, addressing climate matters?
One, they should first have it in their mind that the economic impact of climate change is more devastating than the ordinary economic development that they are talking about. That's number one. And they should look into this. Which area of environment that climate change have adverse effect a lot? Agriculture. 70% of our livelihood depend on agriculture. So we should, and you can see the rain pattern has changed.
Yes.
So, and you see what Dubai just did of recent.
Yes.
They are going to harvest from the desert in the next 2 or 3 months. And what are they producing? Wheat. Because they saw the gap when between that what the whole world was suffered during this Russia-Ukraine war. Yeah. Because they now find out that no, we are depending on Ukraine for wheat. So they started with wheat. Maybe the next one they will start with corn. So we should be thinking into that. The policy strategy that affect air pollution, water management, waste management, energy, that's another one. Let's assume we start removing all our street lights from the national grid and we save the remaining one to household. Like I told you, the study we did, from the proposal, we are trying to harness money for Lagos State government because the governor challenged anybody that has end-to-end solution with money should come. And I'm challenging him too, openly, that if he approach me, we can generate 50 megawatts of electricity from Olusosun through landfill gas, and we will get the money from climate change finance for him. Let him start. He said he wants to build a smart city. We are ready to give him that proposal, but he should find an alternative to Olusosun. Because Olusosun is no longer in fashion. It's no longer, in fact, it's an eyesore. And what's the alternative to Olusosun? If we want to bring in green economic project for Lagos as part of his agenda when it comes during his second term of office, by the grace of God, we should start looking at how we can change that place to renewable energy hub. And that's one area we can start hitting the ground running. So that energy, agriculture, housing. We're having housing revolution in Lekki houses. And if you want to remove all those estates from national grid, all we just need to do is to promote solar energy for the housing scheme. so that every individual home will have access. And it's not just to provide the solar, we provide loan for them. As you finish your estate, you give us your energy plan or power supply plan, and we can ask you to go to a bank. Now, I'm even proposing in this book, why are we wasting money given to us by Ecological Fund? Lagos State should start by creating green bank, and that green bank will target solely the green economy project.
All right, just in a minute, one other area that we often underrate or overlook is wildlife.
Oh, yes.
You know, talk to us just in a minute how important that is to our environment and to us even as humans.
Let me just give you an economic aspect of that. The wildlife for ocean
Quickly.
and
1 minute.
water. Look at how we dump our plastic. The fish and the aquatic animal in the water, they start eating plastic. That is already a problem. The fishes are dying. And if we don't preserve them by cleaning up our river bank, our ocean bank, and make sure that we put the right waste management in place so that the fish will no longer have access to the plastic. Because 70 to 80% of the waste in our ocean is plastic. So that is one way to preserve it. Then the Great Green Wall project that they are doing in the northeast is another way of preserving our wildlife habitat.
It's a fine place to leave the conversation now because of time, but we must thank you, environmentalist and MD CEO, Mark Press West Africa Limited, Idowu Salau, as well as Chief Odofin of Akpado Land in Ilorin. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.